All right, let's get on with that out of the way. Let's get on to the next game. And how do we go here? So we've got Carlton defeating the Sydney Swans by 6 points. Really close affair. Carlton fans are up and about. Bobby Hill, 3 goals, 1. Looked very lively. Got him off to a very nice start there.
Your graphics, kick that one away. You got all the you got all the Collingwood and Melbourne stats still on the screen.
I've got the wrong ones. Anyway, I'll
give you some
that.
legit stats in the meantime, but go for it.
I was wondering.
Bring in our guest.
How long? I'll bring in the guest now. That's perfect opportunity, Paul. So now this man is an absolute legend of the YouTube world, and he's a massive Blues man. We love him. I think everybody loves him. Really, his name is Pommy. Welcome to the show, Pommy. Tell me all about it. There's a bit of destiny around Carlton at the moment.
You can't fight destiny either. But first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Big fans of yours as well. Another lifetime, I was a Geelong fan. So when I first came over here, my boss enforced me to be a Geelong man, even though I didn't like football. But Carlton got me in the end.
I guess, what was it about the Blues that swung you in the end?
Marriage.
Okay, I guess that checks out, right?
If a Pom's marrying into the house, I had to be a blue one. So there you are.
That's fair.
So how are you feeling, Pom? Are you up and about? Are you coming down a little bit? Because you probably the last couple of days have been pretty full on. Where are you right now, and what are your thoughts and feelings like going into next week?
I'm still as high as a kite. I'll be honest. I feel like I'm at a Bob Marley wedding, so I'm quite high. I'm enjoying it though. I mean, I don't feel nerves. I'm going into this Melbourne game with full respect to them. They've been here and they've done it, but we always traditionally match up well with the Demons.
You do,
and I think contested football versus contested football, and all due respect to Melbourne, I think we're the best contested side on the planet. So I think we'll be really up for this one.
No, that's being very respectful to Melbourne. I heard you on the fan cams, and you would like you were a bit more up and about. But that's what happens after the game. Your energy levels are right up there, and you're feeling very confident and primed. Sorry, Paul, I might have cut you off. You had a question.
No, you're right. But I mean, there's definitely something to that. They are vulnerable. We've just discussed their game, obviously, and they're going to be without Gus. They're going to be without Van Rooyen. Their forward line is nothing to write home about. Obviously, their defense is sensational, and that's going to be a challenge for Charlie and potentially. I mean, you're probably not going to have Harry. No, it was concussion protocol, wasn't it? So he's probably out. Harry. So, I guess that kind of squares things a little bit. But there's certainly a great opportunity here. I think if there's a time to get him in finals, it's right now. So, I guess good luck to the Blues in that instance.
I think you're right. I think we'll take kind of watching the Collingwood game. Collingwood just pressured them, and that noise, I always say this, the noise I thought has affected Melbourne a lot. The Collingwood fans, we know what they're like. They're mental. They're head cases. And that noise in that, particularly that fourth quarter, kind of willed them shots, and they're going to get the same from Carlton. Carlton fans are equally as mental as the Pies fans as well. So it's going to be a real home game, because as you know, Melbourne only have Caden McDonald and whoever he invites to his seats as fans. So it's going to be 92,908
versus Kados for you.
And Caden and his mates and marmalade there. So we should be all right.
and a cheese board or two. Mate, if you guys end up playing Collingwood in the grand final, how are you going to handle that? And what's that week going to be like? I am actually predicting Carlton Collingwood grand final.
There's a sound clip going around round 12 where I said, don't sleep on the Blues when I was on SEN. And I was like, whoever beats Collingwood versus Carlton will win the flag. And that's where the hype started. So that was when we were rubbish at that point as well. I think Collingwood Carlton, I think if you're a neutral, you guys are neutrals in this, you want that final. That's the final. I think everyone wants the granny, Carlton Collingwood. I'd imagine. I know everyone hates both of us, but that's the one I'd want to watch if I didn't support either side.
Yeah, certainly for the spectacle, there's nothing bigger at this point. So both teams are hungry. different reasons, but both teams are unbelievably hungry and the supporter base is ravenous. So, yeah, I can't really think of a bigger pairing at the moment.
If you win it, it's going to be the best feeling ever, especially because of your opponent. But if you lose it,
you're not going to like it.
You are never going to hear the end of it. Oh, mate.
I do find it hard to hate. I have a good relationship with most Collingwood fans. And for some reason, they like me, which I'm not too sure why. It's St Kilda fans that don't like me, which I don't know why, because I'm married to one. But so it's going to be an interesting one. But I have a lot of Collingwood mates. So if Carlton play Collingwood in the final, I better win it, because there'll be a lot of people being blocked. I can tell you that.
For you. Yeah.
Well, Paul's dog hates Carlton's supporters, so that's you might have heard the dog in the background there. So, Pommy, thank you heaps for coming on the show, and sincerely, all the best to the Blues next week. I hope they go well. You've suffered long enough. Melbourne got their premiership a couple of years ago, so they can bugger off again. All the best, mate, and again, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. Much love, guys. Love what you do, and good luck next year. Hope to see you back where you belong.
We'll be back, mate. Don't
Fingers
worry
crossed.
Take it easy, Pom.
See you, mate. Good luck.
Blues. They're going to go okay, I reckon. So look,
and to cover off on some of those stats from before, so I brought everything up off the back of your little technical thing up there. So it was a I guess in terms of the goal output, it was a pretty even performance on both sides. You had Luke Parker, Logan McDonald, and Errol Goulden both with 2 each for the Swans. Jack Martin, Matty Cottrell with 2 apiece for the Blues. But beyond that, it was a lot of singles, a very, very much a team effort on both sides of the ledger there. But obviously some amazing goals along the way. I think about, Charlie Curnow's dribbler early in the piece. I think about Paddy Cripps and I won't repeat what he clearly said afterwards for fear of upsetting our junior audience. But there was lots of amazing moments along the way on the disposal front. Sam Walsh just accumulating as he always does, 29, Jake Lloyd, 27. And it's just a sea of blue from there with Blake Acres arguably best on ground, George Hewitt 25 with 26 and George Hewitt 25, Chera 24, Sard 23, Newman 23. Another block of Swans there in the low 20s as well, but it was just this sea of blue in a lot of ways. So massive congratulations to the Blues who got the job done.
Yeah, Harry, as I think we said, Harry McKay is going to miss, unfortunately, and he's making a habit of missing anyway. A couple of shots from 10 metres out, or 5 metres out, he couldn't kick. So I think the Blues will go a lot better. Sincerely, though, I hope he's okay, but I'm just going to have a little dig at him.
They might have a better shot on goal, though, next week.
They might have a better shot on goal. Jack Martin, he's out for, I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks suspension at the moment.
So we'll see what happens if he challenges that.
They'll challenge that.
Yeah, possibly. Did you see the Matt Owies one where he's running into goal and he's like, I'm going to try and be
handball
unselfish.
to Charlie.
2 metres out, I'm going to handball. Like, what are you doing, mate? And then the ARC had to get involved and all that sort of stuff. It was just nuts. I don't know what was going on there.
Look, Vossi had a good old laugh about it afterwards. So I guess
crazy.
Good luck to him.
Yeah, so look, there was one of these. There's a few games this weekend where the team that was inaccurate cost themselves, and just goes to show you, like, you can be the finish top of the table, which and Collingwood did get the win, but look, Collingwood could have kicked inaccurately, and all of a sudden they're facing an interstate prelim, and season 23 is over and done just like that. It goes. You just got to kick these goals. You can have the best forwards in the comp, but if you're not kicking straight, if you have a bad day, it's game over. It's curtains.
Yeah. And look, the Blues nearly blew it. To be fair, like they had a 29-point lead at halftime, but that was whittled down to 15, and then 6 is the final margin. So, a bit like the Pies, they nearly coughed it up. So, every team is gettable, I think, is the message here. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter who your opponent is. Every team is gettable, unless of course you're St Kilda, apparently.
Exactly. I'm going to do my votes. I gave the 1 vote to Blake Acres, just all heart and soul, really. Yep. He had 1 arm at one stage. You could tell he was in a war zone, that bloke. He was just going hard at it. Sam Walsh, just an accumulator, just doing all that stuff. Not the flashy stuff, far from it, but just doing all the stuff you need from a bloke like that. And he's just so they're so happy. They're so glad to get him back in that squad. He's going to make a big difference. But the man of the night, another best
Future cat
performance. Future Cat, Errol Goulden, another player from a team that didn't win on the night. It was absolutely terrific, an absolute star, and has been pretty much since the preseason, really, where I think he got nearly 50 touches in a game or something like that in the preseason.
Something absurd.
An absolute freak of nature.